Whoa. Okay. Hi. Oh, I'm Allison. Hello, I'm Allison, and welcome to my weekly meltdowns. 9 years in the making coverage of Stranger Things. With me, as always, is my Eddie, my Tyler.
Oh, that's sweet.
I'm your Erica to your Eddie. Is that
You know,
fair?
honestly, that is fair. I feel like you are very Erica coded for sure.
I would have. Erica is very much Allison in the 80s, judging my
Yeah,
brother and his friends who were 5
yeah.
years older than me. And also
Bunch of
JoJo is here.
nerds.
Yeah,
Hi,
here's
JoJo.
JoJo's relaxed. He's happy. He's been a little sick. Everybody's been sick. Everybody's been sick. Tyler, you haven't
True.
been sick.
I haven't been sick, knock on wood, and I have 2 more weddings for the year, so hopefully, I can get sick as a dog after that. But hopefully, my immune system stays strong. But you're right, everybody is getting sick. I don't know, maybe they caught something from the upside down. I don't know. I don't know what to tell
I
you.
don't know. I haven't AI summarized the discussion that I've missed this afternoon in the My Weekly Meltdown chat, but I did see sick and parents weren't coming. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh. So I'm like, great. So
Yeah.
she's got it now. So, but anyway, guys, the new trailer for season 5 of Stranger Things was dropped. We had the spoiler, or I guess it leaked last night with perfect sound and color. I might add, didn't look much like a leak, but you know what I'm saying? And I've never seen a leak like that ever. I've never seen such a clean leak.
It was a screen recording of like a Twitter video that Netflix accidentally posted and then deleted like a minute later or something. But somebody was able to get the whole thing. But thankfully, they released it today, like this morning, or like earlier this morning. Actually, I was wondering if it was going to be like later in the evening tonight or something. But dang, what a good trailer, and what a perfect time for us to be talking about Stranger Things and everything. I feel like even that trailer has filled in some gaps in terms of like stuff we'll be talking about in season 1 specifically, with like what happened to Will Byers when he was taken, and all of that stuff. We'll get into it. But
are we gonna get a child with dots on their face, and they AI that actor's younger face onto the kid like they did 11 and season?
I think they're getting a different actor for like young Will Byers.
I just want to say that special effects, I don't know what they call it, has come so far. My son and I saw the new Tron movie a few weeks ago. The music's good. But anyway, we went back and watched Tron Legacy from 2010, and they de-aged Jeff Bridges. Holy shit. It has come a long way in 15
That's
years.
crazy.
I'll just say that. But I have rewatched Stranger Things, all 4 seasons twice. I watched it as it was released originally, and then I rewatched it when my oldest grandson, after he was born in early 2022, and then I rewatched for this show. I didn't know when we were going to do it, but I'm like, I'm getting on this. I rewatched all 4 seasons the month of July. So nice. I should, as you start talking, it will come back to me. But I was born in 1977. So I grew up.
How was the 80s portrayal, like, as somebody that lived through it?
Well, my brother Jonathan ironically, my brother's name is Jonathan. It's actually his name is Jonathan Zachariah, and we called him Zach most of his life. And then when he turned like 17, he was like, I want to be referred to as Jonathan. And I'm like, fuck you are. Anyway, so my brother Jay-Z, he actually is the same age as these kids. So watching these boys was like watching my brother and his friends. And right before we went live, I was talking about how I've always felt a kindred, what is it? Erica is my little kindred spirit
Uh-huh.
because I used to try to hang out with my brother and his friends, and of course, I got shut out all the time. But I
Yeah.
was always around voicing my opinions,
Of course. Of
and
course.
it was very accurate. Everything I will say, growing up in the 80s and is very accurate. Even the 90s was painfully accurate.
Hmm.
Even Will's haircut in
Yeah.
season 4 is painfully accurate. But
Yeah.
we'll get to that. Jojo, you gotta get down, buddy.
Yeah, I think I've rewatched all 4 seasons of Stranger Things. I would say maybe 4 or 5 times, and I am
Wow.
like on
You're
like the
busier than me.
I love like all the Reddit like boards. I love I just love the story of the show. I love the world that they've built.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently the Duffer Brothers they're gonna explain in season 5 exactly how the upside down works. I think they said they have something like a 30-page document going over the rules, the how it was made, like how Vecna got there, like all of that stuff, right? And all of that stuff will be answered in season 5. So I'm really excited to explore like into the deeper world of the upside down. But going back to season 1, like the stakes feel so different and
Oh,
the
yeah.
world feels so much smaller. And I feel like you can't understate how much of a like cultural impact the first season of this show was. Like I remember like around Halloween, like everybody was dressing up as Elle in the dress, or I think somebody dressed up as like a couch with like the alphabet light wall behind them, the one that like Joyce made with the Christmas lights and stuff like that. I don't know, just like the Eggo waffles of it all, like all of the imagery is just so iconic and like ingrained in pop culture. And this show started so long ago. Like this first season was while Obama was president. Like that's how long it's been and how long we've been waiting for this last season of Stranger Things to happen.
So many things have happened during like we had the writer strike and
COVID.
so much stuff that forced the writers to push forward in time with the
Yeah.
show because you can't make kids, there can't be 11, no pun intended, forever. I mean, of
Yeah.
course in season 4 you can't, but it kids grow up, and if you don't stick quick to the script, you're gonna have to have time jumps, which I'm
Yeah.
I'm all for. It is what it is, but it's
Yeah.
fun for me to watch. Like, I had no intention of ever watching Stranger Things, to be honest with you. Um, when did this come out? It was October of 2016, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
somewhere around there. And I heard some guys talking about it at work, that these friends of mine, and they're, like, "You haven't watched Stranger." They're like, "Allison, this is so up your alley. You need to watch it." I go, "I don't have I have no idea what this is about. It's being beat to death.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, I can't get away from it. I'm gonna end up watching it, and I'm gonna get spoiled by a-holes. It's just gonna piss me off." Well, I was bored one Friday, and so why not? So it was 2 months into it, and I watched the first episode and then the second, and I ended up binging the entire season in one night.
Yeah. I believe it.
And then I was all about, "Dude, season 2, we gotta go," and I was
Hmm.
on board, and just, just sometimes you just have to take a chance on something, I guess.
Yeah. And do you think I know there's a lot of peers that say like season 1 is their favorite season of Stranger Things? Like what's your take on that? What do you like what's your favorite season?
Well, I have, favorite seasons that, didn't tell Dacre Montgomery.
Mhm.
Billy is mine.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes, dear Jesus.
I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I love I thought season 1's great. I feel like season 1 is so original, and to its, just I'll tell you one thing. Have you ever seen the movie Us by
No.
Jordan Peele?
No.
Um It came out in 2019. And I remember watching this movie about an alternate world literally under us,
Yeah.
where each of us has a mirror of ourselves. Like there is a version of you living underground right
Yeah.
now with a different life and all this stuff. And I thought when I saw this movie years ago, I thought, man, that's kind of like
Like the
what
Upside
upside
Down.
down, but not. So anyway, I'd never really seen an 80s show like tap into the vein so deep of the 80s to every detail down to the haircuts. And I just want to give a shout out to Noah Snap. This poor kid cannot catch a break with the haircuts on this show. I mean, they're terrible. They're accurate, but they're terrible. Like, I
The
don't
bowl
like
cut.
everybody else gets different haircut. Like, gets to, even the one kid had the kid in play. I mean, like, what is happening right now? Like, give the kid a new haircut, and then he gets one in season 4, and it's just shit. No, but anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, I really enjoy season 1. I really liked season 2. I'm gonna go out on I'm not the biggest fan of season 3. No, wait. Which one did she go goth? Is that season 2?
That's season 2.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of season 2. It's
Gotcha.
1, 3, 4, and 2.
Okay. I think that's a fair ranking for sure. I definitely like the last season the best just because of like the introduction of Vecna and
Mhm.
I feel like the kids are more like on their own and more grown and doing their own thing, which is cool to see. But man, every time I revisit this first season of Stranger Things, like it is so, especially Winona Ryder and Charlie, whoever plays Jonathan, I forget his last name, but Joyce and Jonathan, like those two, like all of their scenes where they are like just like frantic trying to find Will, and just like the desperation in Joyce's voice when she's like, I'm going to find my son. I love my son. I'm going to do whatever
Yeah.
I can to find him. Man, like what a great performance Winona Ryder has in this first season for sure.
Winona Ryder is amazing and should
I've never
be
seen her in
given
anything
more.
else, really.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so
Like I've never seen Beetlejuice. I've never seen
well, she's done more than
Heathers.
Beetlejuice. She's been in, Edward Scissorhands, and of course now I'm having a brain fart and I can't remember anything she's ever been in. But hold on, but she's been in a lot of stuff. She has so many films to her credit, and she is so underrated. And I think that she has never really been given the opportunity to shine like she has in this show. They
Yeah.
always try to tap into that goth side of her. And I mean, if
Yeah.
okay, she was in Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992. She was in that. She was amazing in that, I think. As young as
Mhm.
she was very young when she did that film. I mean, there's just there's so many films. Like hold on, let me name a couple real quick. Let's see. Welcome Home,
Heathers.
Roxy Carmichael is a very underrated movie from 1990 where she really has issues and it's really good. Alien Resurrection is another underrated, but she did really good in that. She was in a film with Angelina Jolie, Girl Interrupted. I will say that is probably my favorite Winona Ryder because she's in a mental institution and I could totally relate. But anyway, no, she did really good in that. So she's done a lot. She's been in a lot. She is your late 80s, 90s, early 2000s. She fits perfectly into a show.
Yeah.
I mean, they even dusted off Sean Astin for God's sake and
Yeah.
put him in the show. And I know I'm not going down his short list, but I mean, he's great. I loved him in it. But anyway, yeah.
It is cool how it seems like the creators of Stranger Things have really I feel like they get so much inspiration from like 80s horror movies specifically.
Yeah.
Like the Goonies and like Alien. I know like the Terminator movies are gonna be like a big like source of inspiration for the last season.
Oh,
So I
really?
don't know. Yeah,
You better brush
And
up
that's
on that, Tyler.
they're bringing Linda Hamilton has a major role in the last season.
Can I say
Yeah,
something?
go ahead.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't look like it now because I love Linda Hamilton. I'm not gonna say anything bad about Linda Hamilton, but I got a lot of Linda Hamilton references when I was young from Terminator to her Terminator 2 days, and when she was on the show Beauty and the Beast. I got a lot of, "You kinda look like Linda Hamilton." I was like, "Okay, I'll take it." My whole thing, am I frozen right now?
No, you're good. You're good. I'm a listener.
Okay, okay.
You're good.
Everything just went a different color on my screen. So just keep talking for a second.
Yeah, so I guess so what are we doing here? How are we structuring this conversation of Stranger Things? I don't really know. I've never I feel like I usually don't do like the show or movie recaps except for like
Okay.
reality TV. So who knows how this is going to transform over the next 4 weeks, but the plan is we're gonna do one show a week to talk about each season of Stranger Things leading up to season 5 dropping like a few days after our last recap for season 4. So we are really structuring this conversation. Like, of course, we're going to spoil, like we're still going to talk about things that happen in season 2 and beyond and stuff like that. But really like the structure, what I would like to do is kind of go over like the first season as a whole. And I wrote down like little notes for each episode and stuff like that. So, but like if you need to get going, like if we're going too long, just let me know and I'll like speed it up a little bit. So I want to,
Oh, no, you're fine. And hi
so
to
let's
Matt,
talk about
my friend. Hold on. Hi to my friend Matt in the chat, who I think we used to work together at Strike King, and I think he was actually, he may not remember this, was the one that mentioned Stranger Things to me,
Oh, nice.
ironically. And
Very cool.
I
Very
was like,
cool.
I don't know if I'm into. He's like, you need to watch it, and I ended up watching it, and then we were talking about it. See, hey, see, I
Awesome.
give credit where credit is due. There you
I
go.
like his name too, the Mattuine.
Yes, Star Wars. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna start with episode 1, the vanishing of Will Byers. So this is where everything happens, right? So the first scene is Will, Lucas, Dustin, and Mike all playing Dungeons and Dragons. These kids are a bunch of nerds, right? And they have to fight a Demogorgon, which is a monster from Dungeons and Dragons. Like the name of that monster does not originate from Stranger Things. Of course, like when we think of the Demogorgon, we all think of that like no face monster with like the flower mouth face thing from the Upside Down, but it originates from D&D. So the issue is this Demogorgon. He's a pretty powerful monster. So Will has to roll a 13 or better on the dice that I think go up to 20. And the kids tell him like it's too dangerous. So rolling like a 13 out of 20 or higher is the odds are not in your favor, right? So he rolls the dice and he rolls a 7. And that's like the end of the campaign for the night because Mike's mom like comes and breaks it up. I love Mrs. Wheeler. She is such a fun character to me.
Yes, Cara. I can't know if I said Cara
Buono.
Bueno.
Cara
Buono. Listen, she's a beautiful lady, and I love how she was in the main credits. She was in the main credits up until season 4.
Listen, she's got a good agent or something. She always gets like the cast photos. She always gets like a little more attention than I think she should for her character.
That's a whole other conversation. Okay.
So the campaign is done for the night. All the kids like head out to go home. They leave on bikes, and when Will leaves Mike's house, as soon as he leaves, the light bulb outside blinks a little bit. Wonder what's happening. Will is heading home, which is in the direction of the Hawkins Laboratory, which is like a major location for this series. And he's like riding down the street by himself, and something startles him, and the light on his bike starts to blink, and then he falls off the bike. And you see this like little shadowy humanoid figure in the background. And spoiler, that is Vecna. Like that is not a Demogorgon. It is a humanoid like figure with this like long left hand, which Vecna has. So that is Vecna in the right side up here in the very first episode of Stranger Things, and you hear this slight like clock like dong sound, which is his like signature thing in season 4. So it's really cool that like even this early on, like there are some hints to Vecna and like where we're going with this. But of course, like this scares Will. He runs home and he tries calling somebody on the landline phone, but there's like a bunch of static and then it zaps. So it like shocks him. So he like drops it and runs. He runs to the shed in the backyard where he finds like a rifle and like a box of bullets. So he starts like loading the gun and stuff like that. He's very nervous. The lights like start glowing like very intensely, starts like blinking, going out of control, and then like that humanoid like figure comes up behind him, and then all of a sudden all the lights are gone, Will is gone, just total silence.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to Will Byers, and we find out that he is in the Upside Down for the entirety of season 1. And, you know, like one of the big outstanding questions that we have that the Duffer brothers have said that they're going to answer in the first like 5 or 6 minutes of season 5 is, you know, why did Vecna take Will? Like why him specifically? And what happens to Will throughout season 1 in the Upside Down? We don't have a lot of answers about this, but like it seems like we're going to find out like all of that information, and sounds like that's what that like other actor playing like young Will be doing. So I'm excited to see. But in the trailer that just came out today for season 5, the very first clips are Vecna walking up to somebody. It's probably Will in the Upside Down in the library, because that's in the season 1 finale. That's where Joyce and Hopper find Will, is in the library of the Upside Down with that like tentacle like stuck to his mouth or whatever. So it's cool that like right in the trailer for season 5, we're seeing that like Vecna is like walking up to Will and he's like, I don't know, who knows? I'm excited to see what happens. But you know, we cut to Hopper. This is our first shot of Hopper.
Such a mess in this. I love it. I love him in the shower, drinking a beer and smoking a cigarette as he gets dressed. I love it.
Yeah. And we'll come to find like how Hopper got to the way he is, and like especially like his past with his daughter that is now gone and stuff like that. But yeah, really disheveled looking Hopper here in the first season. So the next morning, Hopper goes into work and Joyce is there and she's like, Will's missing. I can't find him. And he's like, you know, this is a different time, right? Like kids can like leave the house and like come back the next day and it's like,
well, you have
no
to
biggie.
take a look. They're riding home in pitch black darkness on bicycles. They're calling each other on landlines.
Yeah.
And he's in the shed, a 11-year-old boy loading up a shotgun. This is not the 21st century we live in now.
Exactly.
You children would not have made it in my day. You wouldn't have. You're not hardened. You're not hardened like I am. I'm a street kid. I'm street. I'm tough compared to some of you. Trust me. Continue.
So, you know, Hopper's like, listen, 99 out of 100 times, like the kid is just like hanging out with some friends. He'll be back home. Like, don't worry. And Joyce is like very persistent. Like, what about that 1%? Like, what, you know, Will is not like this. Like he gets made fun of a lot at school. Like he's kind of a weirdo. Some of the kids call him queer. And he's like, well, is he? And
foreshadowing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. We're just getting all these like little seeds of like plot that are going to bloom over the next 4 seasons. But it's really cool to look back at this first episode and see how much of the groundwork is already there. Because, you know, like we bitch about The Walking Dead on the show all the time and how they just like make shit up as they go. I feel like why Stranger Things is so good to me is because I feel like the world is so established and concrete and has like rules that have been like thought out like from the get-go.
We also don't have a comic book series that's already been written, and the writer regretted a lot of the decisions he made in the comic book and redid it on the show. So see, this is what it's like to have a good, healthy relationship with a TV series. that
Imagine that.
for 10 years I sat and watched the gosh damn Walking Dead. I did a podcast about it for 2 years. I covered it for 2
Yeah.
years. And that was when it was at the peak of its heyday. That was during when Negan showed up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had people threatening me my life because they didn't like my opinion
Yeah.
on
Sounds about
stuff.
right.
And I kind of had to reevaluate. I don't think I'm not scared. I just dude, come on. Look,
Yeah.
I gotta put something in front of every show now going, look, if you take this show that seriously that you want to threaten someone's life, go elsewhere. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it for Stranger Things too. Everyone has an opinion, okay? And opinions are like assholes. Sometimes they stink. And yes, yours does stink. So everybody's got a different asshole in here in this show. And we all
There you
have
go.
opinions. We don't all like the same thing. So don't take it personal if we don't like the same thing that you like, but we still love you and we still want you to come
Exactly.
back. Continue.
Exactly. So cut to this diner, just this like small restaurant. And this is our first introduction to 11, or Elle. So she's like walking barefoot in the woods, and she walks into that diner, and the diner owner calls, she like goes to the back because she's like eating some French fries or whatever. He finds her and he calls what he thinks is Child Protective Services or the police, and says like, hey, there's this like missing kid here. Looks like a boy, like in this like doctor or like a hospital gown, whatever. So the cops and CPS are not the people who show up. It is the security people from the sketchy Hawkins laboratory. And thankfully, Elle is already on her way. She's like left this place because they just straight up shoot him and kill him.
And
When
that actor actually was
yeah.
on This Is Us, and he is in the new
Oh.
John Wayne
Oh, really?
Gacy
Okay.
series on
I
Peacock.
never
He's a
put that
really good
together.
actor. Yeah.
Interesting. So very early on, we're seeing that like the very limited lines of communication in the 80s are all tapped and bugged, and this like secret organization is like listening in, just trying to like hone in on this girl, like who, like what is she, why do they want her. Hopper finds Will's bike and decides to start like a little search party, and the kids from I'm going to refer to the kids as the party. So the party goes on their own search, and while they're doing that, Steve the Hare Harrington sneaks into
I love
Nancy's
Steve.
room for some
He was
studying.
such a prick in season 1. The first
He
but
was.
oh, he was an ass. I hated him. Go
ahead. So back at Joyce's home, her and Jonathan are like, mourning Will a little bit, wondering like where he is. And they get a phone call, and you can hear behind this like static, you can hear Will and some Demogorgons in the background. So Will is seemingly trying to make contact with the right side up, trying to tell Joyce like, I'm here, like come save me, blah 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 blah. And the first episode ends with the party running into Elle in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night while they're looking for Will. So
and Mike
now
gets his pet.
Yes. His pet turned lover, question mark.
Can I say something about Mike Wheeler real quick?
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say it now before we get any deeper, and y'all can hate me. I'm not the biggest Mike Wheeler fan.
He's
and
cringe.
I'm going to tell you why. His little passive, no, he was just a little, he wasn't even passive aggressive. He was just a straight up dick to 11 when something went wrong, and she was telling him the truth, and she was telling him what he needed to hear, not what he wanted to hear, and things were not going his way. He zoned in on 11 and like went off on her. And then all of a sudden, when everything was fine, all of a sudden, no, he only was happy with her when things went his way. I cannot wait to get into this more as the seasons progress.
Yeah. It's we'll definitely get there for sure.
He's definitely a whiner, a big time whiner.
He is. I'm not the biggest Mike Wheeler fan either, to be honest. And I don't really see him as like, I know throughout the series they paint him as this like the leader of the party, but like I don't see him
We all know who
necessarily
the
as a
leader is.
leader.
We all know who the
Who?
leader is. It's Dustin.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
really
would
think
agree with
Dustin
that.
is like, I feel like anybody could say and do anything, but I really think the voice of reason and the person that levels it, it's Dustin.
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
And we'll see that like later on, even in this season when like the party is like fractured. But all right, so on to episode 2, the weirdo on Maple Street. So the party decides to hide Eleven at the Wheeler's house overnight. They don't want to tell like parents or anything like that until they figure out like who she is, like what's going on. Nancy extends an olive branch to Jonathan. Like she's like, listen, I know Will is missing. I'm sorry. So there's like a little connection there right away. Then we get a flashback to Jonathan and Will jamming out to "Should I Stay or Should I Go" to
The
block
Clash classic song.
Yes. And of course they show like them playing the song, like blaring it on the boombox to just block out some noise of like messy parents and they're like divorce fighting or whatever.
Yeah. They're
But
divorce fighting. I've never heard that put it like they're just doing they're a pre-divorce fighting. Just
yeah, they're a mess, honestly. And I'm glad that the dad like didn't come back in seasons 2 and beyond. Like
I couldn't handle.
Yeah. But you know, it's interesting now, like knowing what we know about like how Max saved herself from Vecna in season 4 by playing her favorite song, and how like the connection of music seems to be like a weakness in the Upside Down. You know, maybe this is like a big clue to how Will survived for that long in the Upside Down. He was singing should I Stay or Should I Go to kind of hide himself and
listening to
shield himself.
The Clash.
Who knows? So in the meantime, Jonathan goes to visit this like deadbeat dad, just to see if Will is there. Of course, he's not, and the dad wants nothing to do with Jonathan. It's a very like, I don't know. I don't like any of the dad stuff really. So back at school, Nancy invites Barb to go to Steve's for a little studying party.
Barb.
Good old Barb. Barb is Nancy's best friend. She's a good influence on Nancy. She is all about hitting the books, not the alcohol, not the partying. She doesn't want any of those shenanigans. Yeah.
She's very wholesome.
Back at the Wheeler's house, so Elle tells the party that Will is hiding from, and then she points to like the little figurine for the Demogorgon for Dungeons and Dragons, and they're like, where is Will? And then she like flips the game board over and it's like black on the other side of it, but she's like, here. And they don't know what that means yet, but like we of course now know that is the Upside Down. Jonathan takes some creepy photos at Steve's party where all of them
we have to go in there. Steve is Jonathan is a photographer. Okay.
Yes,
he does it for school and all this stuff. And he's out there looking for his brother. He has his camera and he sees Barb and he's just taking some pictures that come off later as a creep. But you know, it's art.
I mean,
for
so
us,
technically, yeah. He was out in the woods, like looking for Will and trying to take like photos of, like he had his camera with him just in case he saw anything that was like sketchy that he wanted to like show Hopper or like whoever for the search party. So he hears the scream and he runs towards it, and it's Steve's house, and they're all like partying, drinking, like swimming in the pool together, like all of that stuff. And Barb is just like very clearly like feeling awkward, feeling uncomfortable, like this is not her scene at all. But Nancy like
that was me there. That was you in high school. 100% me. I was the Barb in the situation with friends every time.
So you were a weenie in high school is what you're saying?
I've always been a weenie. Not just high school, but I was always like, we're gonna get in trouble. Or actually, I'll be the one who gets in trouble because I'll get caught and all of you will get away with it. And I'll be grounded for fucking ever for nothing that I didn't even want to do. But anyway.
So they tell Barb to shotgun a can of beer, and she tries to, but she cuts her finger on the can and starts bleeding. Back at Joy's house, they get another phone call from Will, and she notices the lights are blinking in a direction that's like heading towards Will's bedroom. So she goes into the bedroom, and Should I Stay or Should I Go starts playing, and the lights are like blinking like out of control, crazy. And so is Will like creating some kind of force field to shield himself from the dangers in the Upside Down? I don't know. Joyce then sees a Demogorgon start like tearing through the wall a little bit. It hasn't like ripped it open yet, but like the very sturdy walls are like, it looks like it's like cloth being like pushed or something like that. Like there's like it's like a break in like the dimensions or whatever. Back at Steve's house, things are heating up with Nancy and Steve. Nancy wants to stay, so she tells Barb to go home, and that's when the Demogorgon gets Barb.
See what happens when you ditch your friends for a guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Every time, man.
And I feel like this is really what catapults Nancy to really change as a person. I feel like her driving force throughout this whole series is justice for Barb and justice for, I don't know, just the people that like the Upside Down and Vecna and everything have really tried to. I feel like she's an investigator of truth. Like she is very much so like a reporter, and I feel like this is like the start of what we like know Nancy to become, rather than just this like dumb schoolgirl that gets stigmatized by Steve. But so Barb, so now we're on episode 3, Holly Jolly. Barb wakes up in the emptied pool in the Upside Down, and that's when we see her like get killed. She's like holding on to the railing, and she's like, Nancy, and then she just gets yanked down, and then it cuts to the opening credits. Jonathan starts to think that Joyce is losing it. Joyce is like explaining like what she saw in Will's bedroom, and he's like, Mom, like you need to take care of yourself, like you're losing it. Hopper visits the Hawkins lab. He's like, I just got to check off this box. Like, I don't think anything is suspicious, but like just checking things out. And meanwhile, back at Joyce's house, she makes the infamous alphabet wall. She's really like very deep in this like conspiracy theory or like crazy town that like Will is fine. There's something else going on here, and nobody else can convince her otherwise. She sets up Christmas lights over the entire house. She goes to the store
to work. She works at the pharmacy, and she goes into work and buys like, I need an advance on my page. Well, Nancy, or not Nancy, is it? Joyce, you haven't been in, and like I just need an advance.
Yeah.
Phone and some Christmas lights. Just do it. I mean,
and a pack of Camels.
Oh my God, the chain smoking in this show is so 80s.
It was a different time.
Everybody's parents that I knew smoked.
Yeah.
In the 80s. You're living
in public, like in restaurants and stuff.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
On airplanes.
Yeah. So, Hopper, I forget exactly what. I didn't write down like what, when he visited Hawkins lab for the first time, like what struck him to like investigate more. But he decides to go to the library and look up some information about the Hawkins lab. And he does find in there that like there's a shrouded history of, government experiments and like some shifty things going on with the lab. So he definitely wants to investigate more. But this is our first time seeing the library, which ends up being a huge pivotal location for Stranger Things that we don't really know exactly yet, like the source of like why it's so important. But it has a big clock at like a big clock tower. It's in the center of downtown Hawkins. This is where at the end of the season we see that Barb's body and Will are being held. And this is where the 4 points for like the 4 kids that die in season 4 that create that huge rift at the very, very end of season 4. All 4 of those points diverge to the library. So
I didn't realize there had to be 4 deaths until today.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
I
yeah.
I was thinking about it. I was listening to this kind of other podcast earlier today, and they're like, and there has to be 4 deaths for him to be freed. And I
Yeah.
was like,
That's why when people
"Wow!"
say like when we'll talk about this more in season 4, but like when people say that Max didn't die, I'm like she 100% died. Like because
Yeah.
that's what triggered like the rifts to start like forming and converge at the library. But I don't know. I just have a lot of questions like surrounding the library and like why is it so important to Vecna and I don't know. So it's just interesting to see the first like scenes of the library here in season 1. Um, I think so. Back at school, they find out that Jonathan took those creeper photos of Nancy and Steve hooking up in his bedroom, and Steve breaks Jonathan's camera in front of Jonathan and Nancy, and like as a photographer myself, like that. Ugh. But also like probably should have taken the photos, but also like damn, that's an expensive
Like he
drop
was
right
gonna
there.
post them somewhere.
Yeah,
This is
that's true. I mean,
1980
social media
what,
didn't
4?
exist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come on.
you're right. You're right. Nancy, Barb is like not at school. She's not in homeroom. So she goes looking for her. Joyce back at her home, she has like this like clump of Christmas lights and it starts like blinking. So she's like, all right, Will, are you there? Like, blink once for yes, blink twice for no. And it blinks once. And she's like, are you in danger? And then he blinks like once for, or I think she says, are you safe? And it blinks like twice for no or whatever. So
Yeah.
she knows that like he's alive somewhere, but like things are not looking good for him.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Sorry. Jojo
Hopper,
needs
no,
to be on his
you're good.
perch.
You're good. Hopper then gets a phone call that they found the body at the lake. They found Will's body at the lake. Let's see. So Hopper goes down to the lake, and like the party like sees this as well, so they go there. And that's when the party gets really frustrated at 11, and that's kind of when things like
You
start to
mean
fracture
Mike?
within. Yeah. Sorry. So
Mike goes full bitch.
Lucas all along has been very skeptical about 11 because like especially in this first season, she is like mute. She will not say anything. She will not provide any like clues or context or anything like that. But she did tell them that like Will is safe, or not safe, but like he's alive. So when they see this body at the lake, yeah, exactly.
Us.
Yeah, and so
Nuts.
so they have this like big like fracture within the party, and Elle like runs off. It's the timing of it is crazy though. Like I feel like Hawkins Lab like knew they've been like spying on Hopper this whole time, and they're finding that Hopper's getting like close to the trail. I think so. They like create like what we now know is like a fake body of Will Byers.
Yeah,
and puts it in the
totally
water,
fake.
which is crazy.
Did a great job for 1984.
Right. So episode 4, the body. So Hopper goes to Joyce's house and realize, and like he tells her, like, listen, they found the body. Like, let's go check it out. Elle finds Will via radio frequency. So like back at Mike's house, like Elle, like she keeps like toying with the radio transceiver walkie-talkie thing. I don't know my 80s terminology.
It's a walkie-talkie, and it has to be on a channel.
Yeah.
A channel, Tyler.
Thank you.
Just keep going. I can't.
So Elle finds the right channel that like taps into Will on the upside down, and he's singing "Should I Stay or Should I Go?" So he is definitely using music to help like shield him. But how does he know to do that? Is my question.
And does Mike hear this?
Yes. Hopper then is told by his like secretary or whatever, because he's the chief of police. His secretary tells him that somebody from the state did the autopsy for Will's body and not the usual guy. And he's like, of course, yeah. Joyce and Jonathan go to identify the body, and she like Jonathan believes it right away, but Joyce is like, that's not my son. I don't know what that thing is.
I don't know what that thing is.
Not my son. And then they had this like huge breakdown fight in front of everybody in downtown Hawkins. And this is what I mean when I say like the dynamic between Joyce and Jonathan this season is just so good. Like you can really feel like the desperation for both of these characters here.
Yeah.
Nancy gets questioned by the police about Barb. Elle pisses the bully's pants. Like, so the kids have these like two like just like goony bullies that I don't really like care too much about, but like
But
Elle
you have to really watch that because a Goonie is not a bully.
Okay, yeah, like these goons, I guess I should say, or these like I don't know, like they feel like in it, like those bullies, like that's kind of like how they feel to me,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Those guys. Yeah.
especially when they bring in a fucking like knife to like cut them like later on this season. But Elle makes one of the bullies like piss their pants in front of everybody.
Right.
Hopper ambushes the guy that found the body at a bar. And then somebody sees like Hopper like strong arming him in the back alley, and then like as soon as Hopper like sees that, the car like darts off. So that tells Hopper that like shit is going down here. Joyce back at home, she hears Will in the walls while Eleven is channeling him, so the boys hear it too, and she swears to Will that she'll find him. Hopper goes back to the coroner's office and breaks in to check out the body. And this scene is crazy. Like he goes to the coroner's office, he like punches a cop to like get through security to go in there.
That was so okay. Just so you know, you and I've had this conversation that I think Hopper is hot.
Yeah.
And you
and this is what you mean.
Yeah, because I think I even brought up this moment of him punching the guy to get in there, and I was like, that was freaking hot. You're like, oh God, Allison, it doesn't surprise me you think it's hot at all because you're such into the dad bods. You're so into dads.
Well, you have to think like this is the chief of police like assaulting another police officer. Like he is crossing a line of like no return here based off of really what is just like a hunch, you know, like he doesn't have any concrete proof yet. So he gets into the autopsy room, he brings out Will's body, and you know, he has like his pocket knife, and he's like, oh, God, he's about to like
performs his own autopsy.
Yeah,
a hot topsy.
So he a hot topsy. So he cuts into his chest, and it's like stuffed animal stuffing. Like this is not Will Byers. Like, and that is fucking crazy to me.
I've never seen. I don't know how the embalming process goes. I don't know how bodies are prepared for, but I'm fairly confident they are not stuffed with cotton.
Yeah.
No.
So while Will's funeral is being held, Hopper goes to break into Hawkins' lab now that he knows that like weird shit is going down. Meanwhile, we get a flashback to, and I think all of these flashbacks this season, they don't really do that in the following seasons, but the flashbacks I think are really important to like the overall like lore and story and like where the series is headed. So we get a flashback to Will drawing like just with like busted like crayons. Like I think Joyce even makes a comment that like the fireball should be like red, not like cabbage green or something like that. But we like Will draws himself as Will the Wise, this like powerful wizard who's like shooting fireballs at this like three-headed like dragon thing. And we know that like Will plays a huge role in season 5 specifically, and there's like a lot of unanswered questions about like, does Will have powers, and we did see in like the teaser trailer that Vecna is fighting off like some kind of like fire headed towards him at the end of that teaser trailer. So big question, like, does Will end up developing like fireball powers or some kind of like wizard type of magic? I don't know. We'll see.
What if he just all of the sudden just starts reaching out to stop something, and he stops it, and Elle is nowhere to be found, and it comes out that he can do this stuff. Maybe he starts freaking flying.
I mean, we don't see Elle at all, like in that scene, like what we've seen so far of it. Like when Vecna goes to the right side up, he like goes through the portal in season 5. It's Joyce there. Joyce is there. Mike is there and Will is there, but I don't think 11 is there. So it's really like Will is kind of like the only one that could possibly maybe do something to save them all.
I'm telling you. I'm
The stakes
telling
are
you.
so high for this last season. It's crazy.
Timestamp this 49 minutes and 35 seconds. We're saying it now. Will's going to do something. I say he's going to freaking fly or do something. Watch.
So let's see. So Hopper breaks into the Hawkins lab, but he gets caught, and then he wakes up in his cabin the next morning, like with all his beer cans around him, so confused. So they like, he doesn't know how, but they like drugged him and like got him back to his house, and like they're basically telling him without telling him, like, leave this alone. Like we're gonna pull some shit if you don't like stop. So then he starts like rummaging through his house, and he finds that like his house has been tapped. And he goes to Joyce after that. Nancy and Jonathan decide to go looking for the Demogorgon. Meanwhile, the kids go to the science teacher. I love the science teacher, the AV club guy.
Yeah.
He is returning for season 5, and I really hope that he plays a big role, because I just think he's like such a sweetheart, and he's such a like good role model for these kids. But he explains the upside down in parallel dimensions, and explains that like, a gate to the upside down would need a lot of energy to produce, causing compasses to point to the source. So that has like all like the party like using their compasses to kind of try and find like, where's the source of this energy? How can we like possibly find and save Will by finding this like big energy source? Steve goes to apologize to Nancy and asks her out again, but she turns him down. Like, she is fully focused on justice for Barb, finding this Demogorgon, figuring it out. Like, Nancy is like Nancy Drew from here on out, and I love that for her. Hopper then goes to Joyce's house, like, and he's like holding up a sign that says like, "Don't say anything," with his like hand like over his mouth in like a kind of voice. And he finds like a tapped mic inside one of the Christmas lights or whatever. Let's see what else. Lucas gets in a big fight with the party, and he ends up like leaving. I think him and Mike get in like a kind of like a physical fight here, and that's kind of like the breaking point.
Do you want to know why?
Go ahead.
Because Mike.
Yeah,
that's why. Because he goes.
Mike's got a little crush.
Full blown little bitch in the first season.
Yes.
I mean, just totally screaming and yelling at Elle, and whoever disagrees with him or he doesn't get his way, he just screams and you just. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
I can't, and I'm a whiner, and I'm a complainer. So if I'm saying it's bad, you are Olympic level. Okay, serious.
Yeah. So Nancy and Jonathan see this deer. They're like in the woods looking for the Demogorgon, kind of near Steve's house, and they see this deer who is bleeding, like, and they're like, should we just like put it down and like put it out of its misery? We have a gun here. And right before they are about to shoot it, the deer gets dragged into the woods, so they go following it. And Nancy finds this like little portal at the base of a tree, and she enters. And she is besides Will, she is our first character to go into the upside down. She sees the Demogorgon like feasting on the deer, and that's the end of episode 6. So episode 7, the bathtub. So Lucas sees the Hawkins security lab outside of their house, and that's when he's like, shit's like really going down, like maybe we should get the party back together. Because at this point, like, Hawkins lab security, they're like hiding in like repair vans and stuff like that, like parked right outside of like their houses. Like, they're really
not even really look, they're not even hiding in at this point.
Yeah,
they're literally outside. Gee, why is there a white van there's never any white vans around, and there's like 4 on the street? Crazy. Ironically parked in front of Dustin's house, Lucas's house, and Mike's house. I mean, what is going on?
Yeah. So Nancy and Jonathan, they like, Jonathan goes into the upside down like briefly just to like bring Nancy like out. And then let's see seeing if there's anything else here. Episode 6 is kind of like a filler.
Don't eat
You
my
know,
hair.
Elle, we get that iconic shot of like Elle robbing the grocery store to get her Eggo waffles.
And
At this
listen,
point,
she makes business. She walks out of that
she
Kroger
does not give a fuck.
owning those waffles. She's like, do something. Do
Um,
something. Lego
let's see.
my Eggo.
Lego and Eggo
Remember that?
waffles, like
Lego my Eggo?
yeah, I feel like Eggo waffles had like a moment in 2016 because of this show.
They're
But
awesome. They're
of
awesome.
course, they are pretty good. So yeah, after seeing the Demogorgon, Jonathan and Nancy, they buy like these bear traps. They buy like what's it called? They make like a spiked, like kind of like a Negan baseball bat with like studs and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
They're like ready to kill this
A loose seal.
Demogorgon.
They made a loose seal. It's fine.
Nancy discovers her name is on the movie marquee, painted Nancy the Slut Wheeler. So that was Steve and all of his shithole friends that did that.
Steve.
She slaps Steve. Steve and Jonathan get in like a big fight. And the police take Jonathan down to the station. I think Steve gets away. And the party goes looking for Elle. They run into the bully kids at the top of the lake. There's like a big like cliff, and one of these bully kids, he takes out a freaking switchblade and he threatens to like cut Dustin if Mike doesn't jump off of this like huge leap down to the water.
Oh, honey,
And
kids were packing back in the 80s. Okay, we had switchblades, you name it.
That's
it was
crazy
in the
to me.
pocket. Yes. We were really in fear of what other kids were going to do to you back then.
Really?
I'm telling you, it's a totally different time. Yeah.
Huh. So Mike, being that the leader he is, he decides to make the jump and he's like floating midair. And then that's when Elle comes up and I think she like breaks like one of the kids' arms or something like that. And so of course they like go running. And that's when like the party really gets back together, really. So episode 7, the bathtub. So like I said, Lucas sees the Hawkins lab security outside and warns them. So they decide to flee on bikes, and a huge like car chase scene ensues in the middle of like suburb Indiana. And Elle freaking flips one of the cars, or one of the vans. It goes like over them and then like upside down. It was crazy.
That's what we call a chill moment. Okay, and I'm gonna, because there in every episode or moment of that, you can make big comparisons to 80s films, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen E.T.
Yes.
But when the boys are being chased with E.T., they're taking E.T. to the woods because the signal has come in from space that his family's coming to get him, and they got to get him there, and they're being chased by everyone. There comes a point where they've got nowhere to go, and E.T. just takes them up in the air. That gave me chills at 5 years old. I'm not going to lie. I got chills when she flipped that van.
Yeah.
And that is what I call a chill moment. And it, it was very reminiscent for me, being a kid of the 80s, to see something so cool, but yet JoJo is so simple like that. It's just awesome.
Yeah. That's a great way to like explain season 1. Like, it's so cool and so simple.
It is simple because let me tell you children something, okay? Not you, Tyler, but other children. Listen, before interwebs, listen, here's the thing. Less is more. That's where it came from. Less is more. It doesn't take all of this crap to make something special. It's an effort. It's small. It's moments. It's being in the moment and doing things. And not everything is on your phone and on TV and in the internet. It's certain moments that make things real. And this was a time when kids were outside playing and being in parties and groups and doing things like this. You had your own little squad. Actually, I never had a squad. I thought I was in a squad a couple of times. No. But anyway, you have those little groups. Now you don't have that. You know what you have? You have group chats.
Yeah.
And then you oust people from your group chats by starting another. You just remove people from chats. And you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and Mike is that kid who removes people from the freaking group chats because you say something that pisses him off. And what does he do?
And
He
you're gone.
removes you from the group chat.
And why is he the one that decides to
Why
remove
is
people?
Mike the leader? Because he's the tallest one in the group and
He's
has
that
the
way
most
in
hair.
He's that way with Max in season 2 also. He, like, really rejects her for, like, a good majority of season 2. But,
I no.
so the kids go into hiding after this. They hide in, like, a junkyard. And Hopper and Joyce, they find, like, Will's walkie-talkie, like, underneath his bed. So it's, like, on the right channel. So they, like, make
On
contact
the
with the
right.
kids.
Very good.
There you go. See, I'm learning. I'm listening. So Hopper goes to get the kids from the junkyard, and I love how Hopper interacts with the kids, especially
I
in
love
this
it.
first season. Like, he opens the door, he's like, "All right, let's go," and they're like staring at him. And he's like, "Let's go."
He reminds me of Chris. He reminds me of my husband when
I
he's
could
trying to
so say
birth
that.
grandchildren. Like he's like, "What? Didn't you hear me?" Like he
Yes.
just doesn't know how to like literally do anything with kids.
So, not knowing what to do next with 11, the kids call the science teacher while he's trying to have this, like, hot date late at night at his house.
Yeah.
And Dustin asks, like, how sensory deprivation tanks work. He's like, basically, you just need, like, a pool and, like, a shit ton of salt. And so they realize they need to go to the school. They bring, like, a kiddie pool and they bring it to the gymnasium in the school, fill it up with water, they take, like, salt from, I guess there's, like, a bunch of salt to, like, salt the
Oh, the
roads when
salt
there's
that
snow.
they get. What? Like they get it from the cafeteria?
I thought they got it from, like, outside. It's like bags of salt used to, like, salt the roads for snow.
Okay. Oh, it's the pudding. I'm sorry. I'm thinking
Yeah, they also
the
get pudding.
pudding. They ate the
Which I
pudding.
was like, "What is pudding?" And Mike is like, "It's chocolate goo that's really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, basically.
You didn't
I
know
like
what pudding
pudding."
is?
No. Are you about to blow my
God,
mind?
we need to have we need to have meetings before these shows. Pudding, chocolate pudding, Jello pudding.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just I'm really
Okay,
aging.
alright.
I'm aging right now.
Okay. I'm like, "What do you mean?" So Elle, like, she's in her sensory deprivation tank trying to, like, Elle has this ability where she can kind of, like, mind tap into other people, so she
Mhm.
can't really see too much of the environment around them. She can kind of just see, like, what the person on the other end is kind of experiencing, if that makes
She
any sense.
sees the
Like,
people in a black room with watery floor.
yeah. So they ask her to try and find Barb and Will. And so the first she tries to find Barb and she realizes that, like, Barb is gone. She is
Barb's
dead,
dead. This
dead.
one I'm sure. This time I'm sure.
Yeah. But then she finds Will, and he's alive, but he's in really tough shape, and we see that he's hiding in the upside down version of Castle Byers, which is his like kid, like, sanctuary escape
It's
thing,
like a
and that
tree
he, like,
house on the
yeah,
ground.
he exactly.
Playhouse.
So after this, Joyce and Hopper leave to go to Hawkins' lab because they figured, like, the portal to the upside down has to be there. We're just gonna go to Castle Byers, get Will, bring him back. Nancy wants to kill the Demogorgon, so her and Jonathan get their weapons from, like, an artillery. This is so, I don't know if you grew up with these, but I remember, like, one of these kind of stores in Georgia, like, as a kid, like, basically like an armory where you can buy, like, all
Yeah.
kinds of, like, weapons that, like, kids can, like, just go in and buy with, like, no
It's like an
ID
army
or anything like that.
surplus.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
So they
have
buy,
them
like,
everywhere here in the South.
that's crazy to me. So they buy, like, like, oil, they buy bear traps, like, all of this shit. And so they head to Joyce's house after that because they know, like, that's where the Demogorgon has been, like, ripping through the walls and all of that stuff. And they know that blood is something that kind of, like, triggers a Demogorgon to go hunting.
Hey, I need to
Um,
real quick.
Yeah.
This is where I get anxiety going into the buyer's house because of how fucking messy it is at this point and how it's just trashed.
It's a mess. Yeah.
It's a mess, and all I can think is, can we just pick maybe we'd find Will under that pile of shit
Right.
in the corner. Can we just pick it up and find out? It's like
Right.
Poltergeist when they go in the closet and all the crap is in there and they think it's the little girl and it's not. But anyway, continue.
But it's very reflective of like the state of mind that Joyce is in right now, like
Yeah.
how her home looks and how just like disheveled she is. But the end of this episode, this is the second to last episode. So the end of this episode, we see Will in the Upside Down, and we see this figure walking around Castle Byers, and the whole thing just collapses and fade to black. So we now know that that is Vecna bringing Will to the library to get that like tentacle tube thingy, whatever. I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean. Like he's bringing Will to this place, and I don't understand like why. I guess like a big outstanding question for me is like, why was Barb killed right away, but Will is like being spared for Vecna to like use him somehow? Like I just there's so many
Will
questions.
has a supernatural mutant power,
but how does
has
Vecna
not
know
been
that?
unmasked yet. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he found out when he took the kid, and he was like, "Oh my god!" So now I've got this spare Barb. What the hell am I going to do with it? She can't do shit. So I just got to kill her just for practice for how I'm going to kill everybody else. Whatever. But no, I think there's got to be something about him that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So last episode titled The Upside Down. So Joyce and Hopper, they go to Hawkins' lab and they're immediately captured by Papa and the Hawkins lab like security.
Papa.
And I fucking hate
Dr.
Papa.
Brenner.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call him Papa.
Hate that so much, but yeah.
My least favorite line in the whole series
we
is
call
in
him
season
Dr.
2.
Papa. I'm just kidding.
You are like Papa. Like all of this shit between 11
season
and
2
Hopper.
It's gonna be so much fun for me to talk
about. I can't wait. So basically, like Papa and the Hawkins lab, they like interrogate Hopper and they interrogate Joyce, and they basically say like, all right, if you want to go into the Upside Down, like here's your hazmat suit, go for it. Because they just assume that they're going to be killed in there. And then like, that's like the end of their problems, right?
Have
like,
you seen the movie Poltergeist? Nothing good happens when you walk into an open portal from another dimension. Because they're thinking you're going to go in and you're going to grab Carol Ann and come out the bottom. That ain't going to happen here. Okay? Stop.
And the whole time during this, like Hopper's having flashbacks of his daughter starting to develop some breathing problems. And then we see her like in chemo and stuff like that. So like all of this is just like very triggering for Hopper. Meanwhile, back at the Byers' house, like all the traps are set up. And it's almost like a blood oath that Nancy and Jonathan do together. They like cut their hand.
It's such an 80s thing. Blood like that means we're in this together.
Yeah. And as soon as they cut their hands, they get a knock on the door, and it's Steve. And Steve shows up to apologize for Nancy, and they're like, Steve, you have to leave like right now. And it gets so like urgent, so dire that like Nancy, she takes her gun, she like points it at Steve, and she's like, Steve, you need to leave right now. And it's like shit is about to go down here. And so he starts to leave, but then he turns around and sees like all the lights like blinking like crazy, and Steve decides to be the hero, and he goes back inside to aid them.
Help. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Joyce and Hopper find in the Upside Down, they find that Castle Byers has been destroyed. So they decide to like keep exploring, keep looking around, start heading towards like downtown Hawkins, see if anything is there. Steve, Jonathan, and Nancy, their trap for the Demogorgon is successful. They trap it in the bear trap and they burn him.
They love burning people.
Joyce and Hopper, they they find their house, they find the buyer's house in the upside down. So like while Steve, Jonathan, and Nancy are on the right side up at the buyer's house, Hopper and Joyce are in the upside down version, and Jonathan can like very faintly hear Joyce talking. And this is like that we see it like more of this in season 4, but it's just cool to me that they're like establishing that like you can slightly hear like what is going on like geographically the same location, just like in the upside down version. Let's see. Mike asks Eleven to the dance and they have their first kiss, whatever. All these securities, like the Hawkins security and Papa and that lady that shot the guy from This Is Us, all of them like get to the school, and Elle just like straight up like murders like 8 people here, like cold blood. Like they have the kids like cornered in this hallway, and Elle just starts doing her like hand thing, and then like all these like veins start like blackening around their eyes, and then the, like blood starts like coming down, and then all of them just like fall to the ground and die immediately, except for Papa, of course.
Were these federal agents? Like she is just pummeling through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious like what Elle's like kill count is going to be by the end of the series. Like as you know, we think of her as this like hero, but she really so not totally innocent. But
hey, Tyler, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
You're right. I mean, this is very true for The Walking Dead. You know, like all of our heroes have killed many people, but
you gotta
it's just crazy to see a kid do that.
I may have killed. No, that's not funny, but that's no, I haven't killed. I've thought about it. I've plotted and planned, but I'm too chicken. I'm too. I won't do it.
So all this like energy that Elle used to like kill all these people, she passes out, and Papa finds her. A Demogorgon then breaks through the wall at school and jumps on Papa, and we assume that Papa dies here until he retroactively is around in season 4, which is kind of annoying. I kind of wish that they just like left him dead here.
But Matthew Modine, real quick, was in some really good movies in the 80s. This is another person that they brought from the 80s that like he was in a really good 80s movie called Vision Quest and a couple of other films. Like he was in Dead Poets Society. Like I think he was, or was he? Or was that? Anyway, he's been in a lot of 80s movies. Really, he's a American treasure. This guy.
Okay.
So it doesn't surprise me that they did bring it back. That's just from me and my movie knowledge.
Gotcha.
The fact that he did come back, I was not, because they're not going to let someone like him just die like Barb.
Yeah. So Hopper and Joyce, they get to the library where Will is being held. Hopper sees Barb's dead body first, and then so they find Will here. So he is like tied up to a wall with like tentacles all around him, and this like huge like tentacle, it's like attached to his mouth, and it's like when they start yanking it, it's like all the way down his esophagus. They're like pulling it out of him. It's crazy. So I just like, there's a lot of unanswered questions in terms of like what was the upside down trying to like suck out of Will? Like what's going on here?
I think they were putting those little bugs in him, those little leechy looking things.
Yeah. And also like no, that is true. But also like, you know, the library is such like an important place in the upside down. Like where is Vecna while Joyce and Hopper are here in the library is a question that I have. So the kids all go to the party goes to the science room to hide from the Demogorgon. You know, Lucas has been hyping up his slingshot all season long, and he finds the perfect rock in like the first episode or two. He holds onto it, and sure enough, he strikes the Demogorgon, and it like distracts, or it like pauses, it like rattles the Demogorgon for a second.
Dude, can I say, you never want to be the guy with the insignificant weapon that is going to require too much reloading. It's not a gun. It's not a knife. You're like the dude with the
It's a
bow
kid's
and arrow.
weapon.
It's like Hawkeye in the
Yeah.
Avengers. I love Jeremy. I love Hawkeye, but he even says the city is flying. We got aliens coming out of the sky, and I got a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense. So you don't want to be the guy with the fucking slingshot. Come on, Lucas. Can we find something else, please? Can you ask your sister to make you something?
Right. Erica's like not in this first season like
Erica
at all.
really Erica would kick ass probably with a slingshot, but she would zhuzh it up,
Yeah.
Erica style. But
For sure. So we're at the emotional climax of the season, right? So 11 wakes up and she walks up to the Demogorgon. She like pushes him up against the chalkboard wall, and the Demogorgon just starts like ripping apart in this like dust kind of like fabric floating in the sky, kind of like spore material. And it kind of goes all over Elle as well. And then just in an instant, both her and the Demogorgon are just totally gone. So we don't know where Elle is at this point. While this is happening, Hopper is performing CPR on Will, having flashbacks to his daughter dying and like not being in control of that. But Will wakes up, and how is Will able to survive the upside down for so long? I don't know. But all of that just happened. So flash forward a little bit. Will is in the hospital. Like the kids are joining him, like visiting him. Hopper's making sure he's okay. Hopper leaves the hospital, and some guys in black suits roll up, and there's like not even any words said. Like Hopper understands, like, all right, like they're gonna, there's some like sketchy shit going on. Like I gotta see what these people have to say. And I think that's the last scene for Hopper for this season. A little bit of an epilogue. So the kids are playing another Dungeons and Dragons game, and Will successfully rolls the fireball this time and kills the Thessal Hydra. So maybe that is foreshadowing to Will having a good role in season 5 when the stakes are dire. Let's see. Oh, there's one more scene for Hopper. So Hopper goes to like a holiday party at the police station, packs like a bunch of food in like a little like to-go container. And then we see him walk out into the woods and put this food into this little box along with some Eggo waffles. So, Elle is in fact alive, and he knows where she is at. We'll find out in season 2 how he knows that she's alive. But so basically like this guy, he has like a house in the woods, and he reported some girl like stealing his like jacket and hat or something, and then like running off into the woods, and that got reported to the police station. So that's how Hopper knows. At the Byers Christmas dinner, Will excuses himself to go to the bathroom, and he pukes out like a demo slug, like some kind of like slug like thing from the upside down.
Yeah.
And the bathroom lights like flicker all around him, and he's momentarily in the upside down before snapping out of it, going back to the dinner table. And that is the end of season 1. Here we are, Allison.
Here we are. Real quick, let's go over some of the characters real quick before we wrap this up, because there's where they were in season 1. Like we've already touched on Mike Wheeler. He's a little whiny bitch. We get it. He thinks he's not. No, he's not a leader. Okay, you're the manager everyone reports to. You're a manager.
There's a difference between a manager and a leader.
a leader, like a real leader, like is going to go into battle with his people. He's not just the first sniff of something not going your way. You're not just going to, so you're saying my people fucked up? How did you fuck up? See, I did that. No, you back your people up. You're a leader. You're being a little fucking Linda manager, and it pisses me off, and I hate it. 11 is 11. I mean, she's cute as she could be with her little shaved head. I think she could do so
not much like
personality
to report. Yeah.
You what? Yeah, there's not much. Yeah, but she's perfected this thing. I mean, we got
Yeah.
it down at this point. Dustin is just freaking the cutest little thing I've ever seen in my life. I love Dustin. Dustin's my boo. I love Dustin.
Is he your favorite character besides
He is my
Billy?
favorite. I love Dustin. I get it. I get Dustin. Like, I get
Yeah.
Dustin. Okay, I just do. You're
He's
the
definitely like one of these smarter ones in the party too. Like one of the ones that like figures like the shit out and like moves the plot forward for sure.
and no one listens to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gee, I know what that's like. Nobody wants to listen to Crazy Allison until what Crazy Allison said happens. You're like, well, maybe Crazy Allison was right. Maybe we should listen to her sometime. I don't know. But anyway, I think he's great. Lucas was a little bitchy in season 1, but I like, he just
Mm-hmm.
I think that Lucas was just reacting off of Mike. I
Yeah.
think that if Mike wasn't being such a little bitch, I don't think we would have gotten little bitchy Lucas. I think it would have been fine. And I totally forgot about the slingshot. That cracks me up. It cracks me up because here we go again. The Walking Dead, freaking Daryl Dixon, that freaking bow and arrow dude.
Yep.
Like,
Everybody has their weapon of choice.
he had time, like, you're running for your lives and he's killed all these zombies, these walkers with the bow and arrow, but he has time as we're running for our lives to go by and pick out all his freaking arrows. And listen, we're 10 years into the zombie apocalypse. Those things are gonna get dull. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's just
True.
so, poor guy. Who else we got? Okay, Nancy, I'm gonna say it. I was not a big Nancy fan in season 1.
Nancy is I understand that. Like she definitely has some growing up to do in season 1, but like I love the overall journey that Nancy Wheeler takes. Like the
Yes.
fact that like she's the one that like shoots Vecna at like point blank range at the end of season 4, and she takes steps forward towards him. She is not afraid. She is so like fearless and all about like justice and the truth and like finding out like the story and stuff like that. I don't know. I just think she is a very like underrated member of like the party of like of everybody. I love Nancy Wheeler. She's my favorite character.
She to me is like Sarah Connor, no pun intended, because we're getting Linda Hamilton this season 5, is running into the fire when everyone's running out.
Totally.
And Charlie Heaton, I'm sorry, Jonathan Byers, he's played by Charlie Heaton. I'm gonna say I think that Jonathan peaked in season 1. I feel like
For
they
sure.
really
Totally.
didn't know what to do with this character in season
I think
2 and 3.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like I feel like didn't the actor go through some like substance abuse issues or something? So I feel like
he did. He got arrested because he's from England, so I know he was in his country. He did get arrested for some like nothing like pot. Really, come on, whatever. That's nothing. Back then, it was nothing. Now, I think that they really didn't know what to do with him, and I really think he stepped up more he was just Nancy's wingman in 2 and 3, and then in 4 he kind of came into his own a little bit.
It does seem like he's going to have like a slightly bigger and more important role in this last season, and especially with like Will seemingly having some kind of powers, or like the focus is really on Will. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a lot more of like Joyce and Jonathan specifically as it connects to Will and like the overarching like importance of him in season 5. But you're right. Like Jonathan's definitely a very like underdeveloped character compared to like what I think he should be by this point. But man, you're right though. This first season for him is so good.
I think it was his peak, and I think that Steve, now next we've got Steve Harrington, really has shined since season 1. I think who knew? I didn't know where they were going with Steve at first. I thought he's just the jock, typical 80s blonde. asshole boyfriend is in every
Yeah.
80s movie ever made. And then they give him a redemption story, which kind of, here I go referencing 80s movie. The Karate Kid, Johnny Lawrence was the asshole boyfriend, and he gets a redemption show called Cobra Kai and totally turns it all around. But with Steve, who knew there was a badass under that perfect coif on his coif or whatever they call it, hair on it? I mean, he's got great hair. I'm going to tell you something right now.
Steve the Hair Harrington.
Steve, I'd Puma that. I would Puma that. If I had to pick one that's not a child.
Yeah.
Because this is going south real quick. It would be
he's a good looking guy.
He's a good looking guy. But I like the
got that
funny, he's got that, he's funny, he's good, he owns his shit.
Yeah.
He owns his shit. And you can't leave out the part that Nancy gives Jonathan a new camera for Christmas.
That's
and
right.
Guess who got it?
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah.
So he just totally takes off from here. And assholes would go, if Dale Dixon dies, we riot on The Walking Dead. If Steve Harrington dies, we're flipping tables. I'm telling you, he ain't going anywhere. But it doesn't matter because we got one season left, so they can do.
Yeah. So the Duffer Brothers, I think that they said that like they originally wanted Steve to be a lot more villainous, kind of like what Billy ends up becoming in the second and third season. But Joe Keery just is so charismatic and so likable that they kind of like rewrote like the direction of Steve's character into this like babysitter kind of thing.
I can't. Season 2 and 3 is going to be so much. I can't. I mean,
excited.
so this has been fun, but I'm telling you, like when they really get into it in the next 2 seasons, because the first season is always kind of like introducing everything.
The world is so small.
Yes, and everything's happening. And then when you get into the next seasons, you really, really get to know things. And like with Will, bless his little heart, we didn't get a lot of Noah Schnapp. He carried the legacy of that bowl cut right into season 2 and 3. Everybody else got upgraded haircuts. He's still walking around a ball in 3. I don't get it. But we definitely see this character really got. I'm just gonna say in season 4, my heart. My heart was just. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting, I'm a straight white woman, and I'm talking about how I felt I can't even imagine. But oh God, I love that kid.
I've definitely had like unrequited feelings for like a straight friend, like growing up.
Yeah.
And so I totally like know what that means or like how that feels. Are you going back to Steve for 1 second? Are you more team Nancy and Steve or team Nancy and Jonathan? Like which ship are you?
Could do better. I'm team Steve could do better. I'm not shitting on Nancy. I think Nancy needs to just find some. I think that Steve and Nancy would be great. It would be good, but I really think that there's somebody else out there for him. I really do. I think.
Do you think that Nancy will end up with Jonathan in the end?
I don't think she'll. Honestly, I'm just gonna say she doesn't end up with either one of them.
I'd be okay with that.
I'd be okay with that too. I mean, shit, I didn't end up with the person I was with at 17. Thank Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. That got deep. I can't think of anyone else. Let's mention some honorable mentions.
Yes.
For the season. Ted Wheeler. Mr.
I love
Wheeler.
Ted Wheeler.
God bless
I think he's getting the axe in season 5. That's
I think it's Mrs.
not
Wheeler.
So bold. You think so?
I think she's going in season 5. That's just me. Because we haven't had a lot of high-pitched mic bitching. So that what else would bring that on? Mr. Wheeler's so clueless. He just has no idea what's going on. He's trying to be you don't run the show. Mike runs the show. We all know.
I hope you enjoy your chicken, Ted. I love that line.
I would have popped that kid. Oh my God. In the 80s, you got popped in my house. If I mouthed off to my mom, I woke up a week later, regret. I time traveled. My mom hit me so hard, I time traveled. into
That
the
is so
future.
funny.
I woke up and I was like, "Nope, I'm not doing that again."
Him and his
Um,
lazy boy couch.
that's right. Karen Wheeler, the mom,
Uh-huh.
love her. Can't,
Mhm.
I just think she's great. We saw a little bit of Erica, but not much.
I think she was at the funeral, but I think that's
Yeah.
literally the only scene that she's in for season 1.
But I was trying to think, is there anybody else that should get, honorable mention? I can't, Barb, but
Hmm.
that's really it.
Yeah. The
There was
cast
a
is so small this season compared to, like, how big it gets, like, in the later seasons. Like, we don't have Murray yet, we don't have Robin, we don't have, Max, like,
Erica is a
Billy,
bigger character,
Erica.
yeah.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah.
It's amazing to me, how big some of these people's careers have gotten since being on Stranger Things. Like, we'll
Totally.
get into it, but like, who's the guy? Billy, not Billy, Eddie Munson is,
Yeah. Mhm.
who's that guy?
Joseph Quinn?
Joseph Quinn. He literally they scooped him up. I mean, as soon as he was dead on that show, he was in
Yeah.
with the A Quiet Place prequel. He's in the Fantastic Four, Gladiator 2. I mean,
Mhm.
he's done some amazing films, and it's amazing to me. And I just wonder if some of these kids have peaked already and they're looking like, I want you like, are we ever gonna see a Finn Wolfhard in
Well,
have a
he was in Ghostbusters, and he was also in, It Chapter 1, I think,
he did
right?
that's why I'm saying, like, out of all the kids,
Yeah.
he's he's been in some big
Yeah.
films, but are we gonna see, like, him reach a pinnacle peak of some kind? I don't know. But
Yeah.
out of all the kids, he seems to be the one that's really, like, film-wise, and we've
Yeah.
got David Harbour is part of the new Avengers or
Mhm.
Thunderbolts. Um,
Sadie Sink and, so Max and Dustin, they've both done some, like, Broadway stuff.
okay, see, I don't know that stuff, so
Mhm.
I've seen a couple there was a film that Dustin did, Gatton I can't say his
Gaten
name.
Matarazzo.
That's right, which you said. He said he's done some films that were cute, and, I just haven't seen much of anyone else, but
Yeah.
anyway, I'm not saying nothing's I just was kinda curious, but, of course, we all know Billy Bobby
Yeah.
Brown is married to, John Bon Jovi's son,
That's right.
um, so yeah, and she's a mother now. They adopted a baby.
Yeah, I did
She's
see
not a
that.
little girl or something. So she has a
Mhm.
baby, so good for her.
Crazy how
Um,
much they've grown up, like, since this first season, like, these kids
yeah.
are like babies this first season. It's crazy.
Yeah, I just when I was watching it this past summer, I was like, "Oh my god, these kids, like, they're insane." Like, how
Yeah.
little bitty they were. That's crazy. But, yeah, season 1's fun, but we're really gonna get I got things to say. I got things to say about
Yeah, and
yes.
I am looking forward to exploring season 2 next week. Just because, like, the Duffer Brothers have said that season 5, like, they said that season 2 is very important specifically to the story of season 5. So I'm curious um if that's about,
Well,
like, more like the mind flayers, like, take over of Will, or like the whole, like, tunnel system that they go through in season 2, any of that stuff.
just a sneak peek for season 2 coverage. The girl that she was in the, laboratory with, that
Mhm.
she ends up finding in season 2, what is her name?
7.
So it was 7, right? I
It's
thought she
something
had
like
another
Kella. I'll be honest with you, Allison. Every time I rewatch Stranger Things, I always just flat out skip that episode because I think it's so bad. But I am going to bite the bullet and watch it this time for the purpose of our show because she
well,
is coming
yeah, I
back for
get it.
season 5.
Yeah, it's not honorable mention Holly Wheeler, the little sister. I feel like we're going to get more out of her in
Oh, for
season 5.
sure.
But no, I just, sneak peek of where I'm going to go with season 2 is 7. If the girl is 7, 11 meets up with her. I think she has something she's a loose end. That is a big loose end, and she can control what people see.
Yeah.
And I think that is gonna be a big part of season 5. I think she may have something to do with season 5 because that's a loose end. Well, we're just gonna throw that character away and what she can do.
Yeah.
There's no telling what 11 really saw I've always questioned season 2. I've always had questions. I've always thought ever since I watched it the first freaking time, what is she really seeing when she's dealing with this girl? Is she really seeing 7? Are these
Yeah.
people in this group really it could have
It's a
been
good question.
someone else shielding themselves to look like 7 or whatever. So, keep an open mind that could be something. And I just wanted to just give a shout out to true crime because that's where that came from because how my brain works. I'm constantly on my
Of
hamster
course.
wheel trying to figure, "Oh, okay, that's what that is." But anyway, yeah. So that's where I'm gonna be going. I got theories. Okay.
I'm excited. I can't wait to chat season 2.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's it for season 1 of Stranger Things here. If you guys are watching this later, definitely leave some comments about what you liked, what you didn't like about how we structured the conversation. I don't know if going through episode by episode, beat by beat is the right format to do. I don't know. I'm open for feedback is what I'm saying here. But I'm really excited to dive deeper into the world of Stranger Things. I feel like season 1 is just the surface of just this deep world, and we get Max in season 2, which I'm really excited to talk about her and Billy and stuff as well. So lots of good things coming up. But yeah, so we'll be back next week for all things season 2 of Stranger Things. Anything else to add in?
And subscribe to my weekly meltdown and you will get a notification when we post the show next week. We will be doing season 2 next week. So we're doing it leading up to season 5 and then we'll cover season 5, of course. I think we might do a little bit more in-depth cover it, not a whole season, maybe a few episodes at a time.
Well,
but
they're releasing it the first 4 episodes on Thanksgiving. So we can recap those first 4 and then recap episodes 5 and 6 and 7.
Oh, yeah.
When
See, I didn't know
out.
that.
You know what I mean?
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that. But yeah, so definitely subscribe to my weekly meltdown and you'll get notification when we go live. It'll definitely be next week. Thank you so much. We appreciate you hanging out and we will see you next week for the recap catch up where we do more hopsies.
Some hopsies.
Hypotheses.
Hashtag hypopopthes.
Hypopathes.
All right. Bye, guys. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.